Chapter 8. Timber! Look at that guy go down. Andy's voice boomed over the cheers of the crowd. He's too tall, David cried. He's 7 feet tall, and he's just a freshman. He's still growing, Arnie added. They looked over at Corey, who was staring straight across the gymnasium. Hey, Brooks! Earth calling Brooks, David shouted right in his ear, but Corey didn't respond. The Shadeside cheerleaders did a quick routine during the timeout, and the basketball game resumed. It wasn't much of a game. Westerville, with a 7-foot freshman center, was running the Shadeside Cougars off the floor. They have only one play. Toss to the big guy, David observed. I'd like to toss it to that cheerleader on the end, Arnie shouted, loud enough for half the auditorium to hear. David and Arnie both waited for Corey to add his opinion, but he didn't say anything. He looked at them as if seeing them for the first time. Good game, huh? He said, forcing a smile. What game are you watching? Arnie snapped. We're losing by 20 points. The weak, forced smile faded from Corey's face. He turned and started surveying the auditorium again. You're a lot of laughs these days, Brooks, Arnie said, reaching across David to punch Corey as hard as he could on the shoulder. Aw, I'm going to go down to get a Coke. He pushed his way down the aisle and disappeared around the side of the bleachers. You feeling okay? David asked. He had to ask it twice before Corey heard him. Yeah, fine. Well, how come you missed the practice this afternoon? I don't know. Just forgot, I guess. Wellner was furious. That's the second practice you missed this week, Corey. And Friday practice is the most important, especially since we have a meeting tomorrow. I know, Corey said, sounding annoyed. Give me some slack, David. You're not my mother. Hey! David looked really hurt. I'm your teammate, aren't I? I'm your friend, aren't I? So? So, you tell me. What's your problem, Brooks? Oh, nothing. Just... The crowd roared. All around them, people jumped to their feet. Something had obviously gone Shadeside's way, but Corey and David had missed it. The cheerleaders came back on the floor. The bleachers were shaking under the deafening noise. Corey looked to the scoreboard. The Cougars were only behind by 15 now. That must explain the excitement. It's that blonde girl, isn't it? David said when he became quiet enough to talk. I guess, Corey shrugged. He didn't really want to get into any discussion with David. He felt bad. He really had forgotten about gymnastics practice. How was that possible? Was he really losing his mind over this girl? You going out with her? David asked. I haven't seen her, Corey said, looking across the basketball floor. What? You heard me. I haven't seen her all week. I look for her every day, but she hasn't been in school. And that's why you're acting like a zombie? Get off my case, Metcalf, Corey scowled. You're screwing up your gymnastics rating because of a girl you don't know that well and you haven't seen her. Well, that makes some sense to me. Corey didn't say anything. Then he suddenly blurted out, I don't even know if she exists. He regretted saying it immediately. It didn't make any sense, and he knew it. And now he had given David even more of an opportunity to put him down and give him a hard time. But to Corey's surprise, David reacted with real concern. What do you mean, Brooks? You told me you saw her more than once. You told me you talked to her. You told me she's in Lisa's fitness class. You told me all this stuff about her because that's all you talk about these days. So what do you mean she doesn't exist? I work after school in the office on Mondays, you know. So Monday afternoon I went to the permanent files and looked her up. There was no file for her. David looked shocked, but not for the reason Corey imagined. You can't get into the files? He cried. Great. What does mine say about me? I didn't. I'll give you $10 to look up my file. Better than that, I'll pay you back the $10 I owe you. No deal, Corey said disgustedly. You don't understand. I went to her house last week and this guy said... The crowd groaned. Loud boos echoed off the tile walls. Corey's eye caught the scoreboard. Shadeside was losing by 22. Arnie pushed his way back into the road and plopped down beside David. That guy's too tall, he said. He had spilled coke down in front of his sweatshirt. They've got to raise the baskets, or lower the floor, David said, and they both began to howl. Corey stood up. Guess I'm going, he told them. This is a drag. You're a drag, Arnie said, grinning. She's a transfer student, isn't she? David said, pulling Corey back down to the bench. Yeah. Well, maybe her files had been sent over from her other school yet. David was smart. Maybe he was right. Maybe Corey didn't really believe it. It was November already. How long did it take to transfer files? Is he talking about that weird blonde girl again? Arnie boomed, leaning over David to shout right in Corey's face. What have you been doing to her? He leered. Must be pretty good, or you wouldn't have missed practice so much. Arnie laughed as if he had just said the funniest thing he ever spoken. Corey just shook his head warily. He realized he must seem pretty weird to his two friends. He seemed pretty weird to himself. He'd never been haunted by someone this way before. He never had anything that he couldn't shut out of his mind that he couldn't force himself to stop thinking about. He had always been in control of his thoughts. And now? Now? Was he out of control? See you guys later, he said, and quickly headed down the other way down the road so he couldn't pull him back. The crowd groaned, then groaned again. The small contingent of Westerville fans across the 4 was cheering wildly. It looked like a bad night for the Cougars. A bad night for everyone, Corey thought. He had searched the bleachers row by row for Anna, but she wasn't there. He climbed into his car, shivered against the chill. After 3 tries, he got started. He drove around aimlessly for a while, heading down Park Drive, then across Hawthorne and Mill Road. The streets were empty. Most houses were already dark. He turned on the radio, but no one was playing any music he liked, so he clicked it off. He realized he was very tired. He hadn't slept well all week. He spun the car around and headed for home. He was asleep when the phone rang him awoke. He squinted at his alarm clock. It was 1:30 in the morning. His hand knocked the receiver off the phone. He fumbled around until he grabbed it up. Hello? Stay away from Anna. What? The voice on the other end was a hoarse whisper, so quiet he could barely make out the words. Stay away from Anna, the strange voice whispered slowly and distinctly, each word filled with menace. She's dead. She's a dead girl. Stay away from her, or you'll be next.